It's crunch time for the Republican majority in the Iowa State Legislature. They want to finish adopting their agenda by the end of the month when the legislative session is supposed to end. One of them is Governor Kim Reynolds' priority to eliminate the state's revenue triggers and clear the way for more state income tax cuts to take hold. Republicans in the Senate are making their third go of it this week. Another piece of legislation that cleared the House and is now in the Senate related to police. It would increase protections for law enforcement officers by strengthening their qualified immunity and creating tougher penalties against demonstrators. This in a week when former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of murdering George Floyd, and the federal government considers adopting national police standards. Then there's the push to get people vaccinated against COVID-19. Here's how Iowa and Illinois stand according to the Centers for Disease Control. Iowa has almost 30% of its entire population fully vaccinated. That's 16th best among the states. Illinois is almost at 27%. That's 31st in the country. Both states in the low 40% range for administering at least one dose. Maine is the best state in the country with 35% of the population there fully vaccinated. And this week we learned 43 counties in Iowa declined some or all of their vaccine allocations for next week based on a lack of demand. Those doses will be reassigned to counties with larger populations and more demand. This last year brought challenges mayors and governors across the country never expected. It was uncharted territory for all of them, and it's not done yet. We'll talk about that this morning and some of the activity coming out of the Iowa State Legislature this year with Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. Great to talk with you, Governor.
Oh, it's great to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Let's start with the pandemic. You addressed the state's progress in vaccinating against COVID-19 during your news conference this week. All states seem to be on a similar trajectory in the percentage of their population, some doing better than others in terms of who's been vaccinated. And you mentioned the national trend of vaccine hesitancy after the issues surrounding the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. How concerned are you about this reluctance from people to get the vaccine? What do you think you can do about it?
Well, we're monitoring it very carefully. I am excited about the numbers. We actually have about 91% of Iowans 65 and older who have received one dose. 39% of Iowans 18 and older have been fully vaccinated, and we're about 15th in the country. And then 54% of 18-year-olds and up have received one dose. So we're moving in the right direction. And to kind of put that in context, I said Wednesday, about 40% of Iowans typically get a flu vaccine. And so we're ahead of that, and we're going to continue to move forward. So we're really kind of shifting our response, and we're doing more micro-targeting clinics. We're doing mobile units. I have the Lieutenant Governor up in Sioux City today, and he's brought in some athletes, and we have, I forget who's with him, but Dallas Clark is up there getting a vaccine, and just trying to do everything we can to show that it's safe, it's the responsible thing to do, it's easy, and really that's how we continue to open up and get things back to normal. So we're working on education, we're working on smaller clinics, we're working with our faith-based communities, we're working with United Way, we're working with Embark. Just anybody and everybody. We're looking at events that we can maybe set up a mobile clinic and answer questions and provide vaccines if somebody's willing to get it. So we're not going to let up. We're going to keep moving forward, and we've had a pretty good effort in our universities and colleges, so we're continuing that push as well.
Well, how concerned, though, are you overall with that hesitancy, and do you think the hesitance has anything to do with people who are skeptical about the virus and its severity?
Well, that's why you find somebody that they're comfortable with, somebody that they know and trust, and that's why it's important to get into some of our faith-based clinics that we put in place. That's why it's important that we work with Embark, and they help us answer any questions, make sure that we're getting the educational information in the various languages that we need it to be in, to really do that one-on-one and provide that support in helping them feel comfortable in getting that done. We're moving in the right direction. Like I said, we're 15th in the country for the number of Iowans that have been fully vaccinated. I think that's a good start. We need to keep moving, and we're going to do that, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to encourage people to get vaccinated. And so we'll keep giving updates and talking about the progress that we're making. But to be honest, overall in all states, when we get on the governor's call every week, we're starting to just see a slowdown. They've plateaued, and that's not just happening in Iowa, that's happening across the country. And so every governor and all of their local public health and public health state public health departments are addressing the same issues that we are in the state of Iowa.
Oh, I understand that completely. And you were among the first governors in the country to reopen your state's economy. How much do you think that relaxed people into thinking they might not need the vaccine?
Oh, no, I don't think those are, I said, listen, the same things apply. If you want to get back to normal, every week I talk about the importance of getting the vaccine. For heaven's sakes, I got vaccinated at one of my press conferences. We've been at this for over a year. Our numbers are going down. Our hospitals are where they are, supposed to be. They've plateaued. We're watching those. Our days to double are off the charts. And so our positivity rate is about 4.4. But, people know what they need to do. If you're a vulnerable Iowan and you have underlying conditions, probably should get the vaccine because that's the best protection that you have. If you haven't received the vaccine yet and you are an older Iowan or an Iowan that has underlying conditions and you know that you're susceptible to potentially COVID-19, then you should take the appropriate measures to protect yourself. So, I think Iowans have always been responsible and have done the right thing. And I think what we're seeing too, as you look at, numbers across the country, it's the states actually that have had the severe lockdowns for over a year that have the kids still out of school, which I find just unconscionable that they haven't brought those kids back in the classroom. Science supports them being there, and what they're doing to these children is some of them will never regain it, and this is something we'll be dealing with forever. And so, I'm proud of a balanced approach that we've taken, both, targeted mitigated efforts to protect the lives and livelihoods of Iowans. And, I'm sure we've done things, we could have done some things better, as will all of us will look at that when we kind of do our after action report. But people know what they need to do. We're moving in the right direction. Our numbers are going down and people are getting vaccinated, and we're going to continue to drive that.
Well, you say people know what they need to do, but apparently not. And this is, again, a national
I don't agree with that. I just disagree with that. They do. People are responsible. Iowans are responsible. And we don't know if they've had the vaccine. So they know we are opening up. Our numbers are going down. There is a cost to shutting down businesses and impacting lives. There is there's the social and emotional piece for children. If you take a look at, alcoholism is up. Drug addiction is up. Pornography is up. People, when we instill fear, they're afraid to go to the doctor. They're afraid to do their patient visits that they should be doing. We are seeing domestic abuse. We've seen some numbers increase. So, there's two sides to this story, and the media never wants to talk about both of them. They only want to talk about one side. They don't ever want to talk about the other effects of just shutting people down and locking them up and taking their livelihood away from them. We can do this safely and responsibly. We've been at this for over a year. People know what they need to do, and people will make the decisions. If, you have a business that's decided they want to continue to require masks, then individuals will decide if that's something they're going to be fine with or not, and they will make decisions based on what they believe is in their best interest too, and the community. So, we're gonna continue to talk about what we need to do. We're gonna continue to educate Iowans about getting vaccinated and continue to monitor the data, and that's what I've done throughout this pandemic.
You've come out against vaccine passports. What about the argument that having them could encourage more people to get vaccinated? Let's say if they're required to have them to travel or get into large venues.
Yeah, well, I think that, there's so many questions concerned with that. I do not favor that. There's HIPAA concerns, there's data concerns, there's First and Fourth Amendment rights concerns, Americans with disabilities, there's concerns there. I think it just drives a two-tiered system, those that have and those that don't. I don't think that's the direction that we need to go in, and I don't support that.
We'll step away from our conversation with Governor Kim Reynolds for a moment. Now our question of the week: what do you think about vaccine passports to prove whether people got the shots against COVID-19? Send your answer by email to fortherecord@whbf.com or respond to this post on Facebook at the Local 4 News WHBF TV page or on my page.